Welcome back to the channel. Today we're gonna be making tortas. So the ingredients we're gonna be using today is going to be onions, tomatoes, avocado, telera, which is a Mexican traditional bread, some cheese. Obviously, I'm choosing to use ham today, but you can use any meats or vegetables that you would like to substitute it with, and we are going to use Mexican mayo. Don't forget to add some spicy stuff, so we're gonna use, in this case, La Costeña jalapeno peppers. First things first, we're gonna get going on chopping. We're gonna or slice the tomatoes very thinly, I like, but you can choose to chop them however you would want them. Then we're gonna follow up by chopping the same way the onions and make them. I really like them thin because I feel like it gets more flavor, but it's up to you to do it however you want. The next step is going to be basically to warm up your pan. In this case, I'm using a non-sticky pan, so that way I can put my ham and my cheese and melt it really, really nice and create a little bit of a crust. Then here, we're going to put the ham in the pan. We're going to create a little bit of a frying crust before we can add the cheese. Meanwhile, we're going to slice our bread and we're going to open it in half. Obviously, we're going to open our avocado in half just to get it ready for whenever we have to fill in the ingredients. Take a quick flip at the ham and look at how really delicious that's starting to look. We add in some cheese. In this case, I'm using Swiss cheese because I really love how melty it gets. We're gonna start adding some mayo to both pieces of bread. We're gonna start assembling. We're going to add some tomatoes, some avocado and onions to one side of the bread. I'm gonna do a close-up so you guys can see how it's starting to look on the pan. It looks really good. The cheese starting to get really melty. This avocado looks so really ready to eat. It's delicious. I'm already savoring. Look at that. We're gonna make a flip on the ham when we put the first half of the bread on top, and look at that. That is delicious. We're gonna follow by flipping this piece and we're gonna replace it with the other half of the torta, and so that way we can get a little bit of a crust on the bread as well. We're gonna assemble it in the pan and we're gonna follow by putting the top back on so it can heat up really well on both sides. Part of this is I have to clean up because who wants to be in the kitchen that is dirty, so I have to clean up for a little bit. We're gonna flip it, and it's starting to look really crispy on one side and the other one starting to look hot. And we're on to the final part. So we have here, we're opening the can of jalapenos, pickled jalapenos. I love this brand because this brand is just genuinely very authentic and I grew up eating it. So it just, every time I eat a little bit of it, it just reminds me of home. And the pickle flavor is just so good. So here we have our torta. We're gonna slice it in half. Actually, before we slice it, we're going to add some jalapenos to it to make it really tasty. Since I like my jalapenos, I'm gonna add extra to my torta because it is just delicious when you add them. Look at that crunch. And the final part, which is tasting it. Let's take a look at that. Ah, delicious. Let's give it a try. Yum. Thank you. I'll catch you in the next one.